Well, good day there, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're in the garage today. And we're doing trailer things. So the long and the short of it is, I got a call from a good friend of mine. Again, one of the most stand-up human beings I think I've ever met. I'm sure I've said that before about other people, but I guess I just seem to be a little... I don't want to say blessed, that's so overused. I don't know. I just have the privilege of knowing a lot of stand-up people and great human beings. Anyways, he called and asked if he could borrow the dump trailer because he recently purchased a house. And the answer is, of course. Of course he can borrow the dump trailer. I did tell him it wasn't ready to go. And that's what we're going to do today, is I'm going to show you how I go through my dump trailer to get it ready to lend out. Now, there's a big difference between lend and rent. I do not rent my trailers out. You may. Awesome. It can be another revenue stream, but for me, I need my trailers when I need them and where I need them. And unfortunately, when you rent, you're not always in control of that. So, but yeah, let's get started on this because we have greasing to do. We gotta check the tire pressures. We'll check the lights. I'll show you a little trick with that, and talk about some general trailer maintenance. Let's get into it. Alright, I'll get you in here and we'll go over the tools we got here and some of the points that we're going to deal with. Alright, so we have some of the tools that we're going to need here, and I'm sure we'll find more things we need. I use a flat screwdriver, nice wide one, to pop the dust caps off, the little rubber end caps there. Try not to puncture through it with the screwdriver, but that's just what I use. So 21 mil socket or 13/16, depending where you are. 6-inch extension, and the torque wrench set to 120 foot-pounds as per the sticker. Where's that one? That sticker. And then air chuck, gauge, gloves for greasing, the grease gun's somewhere. So 6-bolt, obviously, check those out. We're going to take some spray lube and hit the joints in there and in there, because a trailer that squeaks as it goes down the road drives me absolutely insane. We'll throw a little lubrication in that. Check the condition of the socket end or the plug end. In our greasing, we're going to make sure that we grab this grease fitting on the tongue jack. As well, we're going to do a bit of a check here. We can do this right now, actually. So we have the tether cord, or the controller for the tilt mechanism. You see we have it on the with the Velcro straps, so that you can easily deal with it and unwind it if you need. Set of wire cutters that are probably older than I am. Zip ties, because you never know when you need zip ties. And then a breaker bar and a 21 mil deep socket for if you get a flat on the trailer, because nothing like not having tools. Also, we have these 1 and 2 bungees up here that are for the tarp. Now we'll come around here, and down here you can see we have a battery tester. And right now it says it's charged and the power is on, and that is because it is plugged in. So it's plugged into the wall, charging. So to test that, you would make sure it's unplugged from the truck and from the wall, and then you'd simply just press that button there and it'll show all this. It'll show you what you're doing there. And then coming around this side, same as the other, But we'll check the spare, give those lug nuts, just the nuts that hold that on, just a little snug to see, and then we'll do the same on this side as everything. What we're gonna do first, though, I believe, or we should, because I avoid it like the plague, is we're gonna get the bed up in the air, and we're gonna grease this thing underneath, because that's not my favorite thing, and the greasing's not my favorite thing in the world, but let's just get it done and over with. So we'll start at the top and we'll work all the way down. Okay, so with the trailer bed up in the air and the safety stand in place, now I do know it's not locked in, but it is going to be just fine the way it is. I did grab the light that I have for being under the hood of a truck, for being under here. We'll go over this diagram on the side, and it'll show us where all the grease points are, and I really appreciate this. So as you can see, there's many different models of the scissor system, or the hinge system, that they offer. Now, if I am looking correctly, the one that we have on this is the 3001, and then the P3007. And we can kind of confirm that as we go here, but we'll get in here and take a look. So come around the back, on the bottom of the floor, you'll see one fitting there and one fitting there. They're kind of painted over, so we'll clean those off. And then we'll come around this side, again keeping that top down idea. We have that one there on the end of the ram. This pivot one here, coming back around, carrying on down. You got one there on the bottom of the cylinder, and then there's two, hard to see, but there and there, and they actually pass through the frame. There's little pass-throughs there. So we'll grease those up right away, get this done, and then we can get the bed back down on the ground. Or not on the ground. If it's on the ground, I have problems beyond greasing and maintenance. Anyways, back down to it's a neutral position, whatever you want to call it, and then we'll grease the back two hinge pins and everything else we need. Now, while I have it up in the air, I will spray lube all the suspension there. I'll spare you watching that because nobody wants to see that. That's just boring. So, alright, we'll get on it and we'll be back after. Alright, so we'll give you, I guess we'll do the proof that it was actually greased. So you can see the grease, there, back there. So that one got done, everything got done. This kind of joint here, I just spray lubed, and then maybe you can see the wet marks. Yeah, we spray lubed the suspension there. Hopefully that kind of shuts this thing up. Just a personal pet peeve. So what we'll do is we'll put the safety bar down and we'll drop the box and we'll grease ground level. Let's do it. Alright, so what I consider ground level grease points for this, now that the dump box is back down, will be the one on the tongue jack, the one in the center of each axle, There's one on the gate. There's, sorry, 2 per gate. There's one there, and then, as you can see, hinge, hinge, and then, rinse and repeat on this side. I already did this side, and what I do with trailer, with the axle, particularly the axle fittings, is this trailer hasn't gone far. It's put on maybe 1,000 kilometers. Is 2 pumps with a hand grease gun. So 1, 2 full pumps, and that's it. And that's done. So we'll get those done, or the rest of them done, and then we'll move on to, I think we're on to tire pressures, and then lights. Or lights then. Let's do lights first, because that's more fun. Okay, well, I'll do that. I'll get this done. Okay, so that's greased. 2 pumps in each, caps back on. And then all of the, grease points at the back, as well as that one. And then same here, 2 pumps each, grease caps back on. Good to go. So now the last ones are underneath. So we'll show you those, and then I'll grease them up, and then I'll set air pressures. And no, like I said before, maybe we'll do lights. Yeah, like I said, lights, because I'll show you a neat little trick on how to check park lights. Okay. Ooh. All right. So under the trailer, definitely needs a bath, but that's grease fitting 1 on one of the hinges, and then grease fitting number 2. So we'll get those greased, wiped off first, and then greased, and then we're good. And we just take a quick boo under the trailer. See anything? No. Nothing's really leaking. Nope, no leaking. Just needs a good bath. Okay, cool. We'll get that done. Oh. All right. So all the grease is done underneath. We started at the top. We worked all the way down. We did all the fittings, spray loop things that needed to be done. And now we're going to move on to checking the lights. So this trick only works for trailers that have their own power supply. So like RVs, dump trailers, maybe, and power tilt decks, things like that. I don't believe this is going to work if it has just electric brakes. But so anyways, so it might work for you, it might not. And this only checks the running lights. Now, when I brought this trailer home, I went through a pre-trip, and I did note that one of the lights was out, and I'll show you that in a sec. It has since been changed, but so I know like my turn signals and my brake lights and all that work. But this is just, if you're on your own, working on your own, it's just a quick way to check your lights. Or if you're in the RV park, in the campground, and you want to look super cool, this is what you do. Alright, so you come here, you get your 7-way pin. Now we're going to try and do this with one hand, because that's how this works. So this is a 10 amp fuse. There's the end of your connector. See this here? You're going to take this fuse, you're going to put it across like that. See how that's across? Make sure it's in there good. Alright. You tuck it down nice. And now let's see. Yep. There they are. You can see them on. There we go. License plate light's good. That's good. That's good. There's a dog. There's a kip. So the running lights and the tail lights. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Oh, you were just the cutest. You were just the cutest. You were the cutest boy. We're almost done, bud. So that one, and if we go around, we can see, yeah, That one's working too. And there should be another one there. Perfect. So those two are indeed working. Now, getting back to this. This trailer has gone through 2 of these LED dot lights in the past 2 weeks. The latest one was that one, and the first one was that marker light there. Not really impressed with that, seeing as this trailer is only 6 months old. And I have one of the old ones here. Where did it go? Right here. So, you know, pretty thin wires that go to it. It's not really well weather sealed. And I find that they get water right in that center diode, and then it's over. Which LEDs are supposed to be waterproof, but water and electricity in any form doesn't mix. So I have a feeling I'm doing those ones, and these two also have water in them, so it'll be a matter of time before I have to do them. But yeah, not real happy with that. But put that where that belongs, in the junk pile. And this is what I replaced it with. You do, like for this trailer in particular, I did have to do some cutting and putting on some ends, but not a big deal. But yeah, so there you go. There's the Grow T number, and it fits right in, and you can't tell at all that it's a different light. So there's that. That's it. That's the quick way to check your running lights and make sure all that's working if you're by yourself, or again, if you want to be that cool guy at the campground with all your marker lights on and not plugged into your truck. You know, that is pretty dope. So, all right, on to air pressures. All right, so people's opinions on where to set your trailer tires varies. The rule of thumb that I follow, and it's not failed me yet, knock on wood, is for the spring, summer, and depending on the fall, depending on the weather in the fall, but mainly in the spring and the summer, as the temperatures warm up, I don't run trailer tires at their maximum pressure. So these particular tires are an ST 225/75 R15, so they're a radial, not a bias ply, and they are an 8-ply, so load range D. They call for 65 psi cold. Now here where I am in southern Alberta, we get, you know, +2, +3, or 5 or whatever overnight, and then +25 during the day. That's a lot of temperature fluctuation, and it isn't a myth. The air in your tires, as the day heats up and as you drive down the road, they heat up and the air expands. So something that I do to kind of combat them ever being potentially overinflated hot or warm is to run them at 5 psi below the maximum for the spring and the summer. Then in the fall, I guess I should say, in the fall and in the winter, I take them right up to their maximum pressure. So here, these take 65 psi cold. They're cold to touch. The trailer's just been inside overnight. And so I'm going to set them to 60. And that'll ensure that I don't ever run too high of a pressure as they warm up down the road, especially when we get the +30 weather, 30 degrees Celsius weather, days like that. So if it's out working, I don't have to worry about it. And it's still going to carry all of its capacity. I'll let you watch me do these 2, and then I'll do the other 2 off camera, because, yeah, no one needs to see that. So we're a tad low. $60, right on the money. Make sure cap's on. Go here. Perfect. On to the next side. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our torque wrench, and with the tires chalked, you can see we have boards front and back, and torque wrench set to 120 foot-pounds as per our little sticker here, which was provided to us by the trailer manufacturer. Something I really appreciate. We're going to torque those. Well, I guess we're technically re-torque, check the torque, and then give the spare tire just a little touch. So I'll show you these ones, then I'll do the other ones again off camera because it's torquing lug nuts. I don't really think that's going to be that entertaining unless I eat the torque wrench or something. Alright, done. On to the other side. Alright, so that's pretty much all the prep done. And the trailer's pretty much ready to go. I'm just going through some things that I'll do off camera. One of the things that I will say, though, is if your trailer does have straps, go through and check them. I know I went through this trailer, the straps that I used for this trailer, and lo and behold, she's torn. Like, that's no good. So I won't lend out broken things. I won't lend out damaged things. The strap's going in the garbage because it's no good and unsafe to use, and that's that. But just a little tip, I guess, there. But anyways, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you learned something. Now, I do want to stress this. This is how I do this. This is how I take care of my trailers. How you do it is up to you. This is not like set in stone. DOT says this. That's not how this is. Do with this information what you will. I'm just a guy with trailers and equipment. So, but anyways, I guess with that, we'll wrap it up here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that's it. You go on ahead and stay safe and take care out there. I'll see you on the next one. Alright, you two. Let's go. Things to do.